think that, that's something that I could, improve on, in not just in negotiations, but in everything, asking those good questions.
Make sure you said it. Jessica?
So my biggest thing is, it has to do with communication. I think sometimes I can get super busy where I put off like weekly emails or texts with my sellers specifically. And so I think I need to get better at, really carving out time where every Monday, that's when I sit down and when I do something out there, very, very thorough, very detailed, and it takes me a lot of time. But I need to get better at doing that weekly, and then I also want to create better templates for both the buyer and seller process once we're in escrow. Because I verbalize it over the phone, but then oftentimes they're calling or texting me asking the questions that I've already answered. So I think at least designing a template, once we get the request for review or whatever it is, sending it out. So I'm showing them more thoroughly, like this is where we're at in the process, this is what you can expect next.
That's a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
I think, as a realtor, you should master your craft and just don't be average. Work hard, put in the work, all the ideas you have with everything and try to combine it together. Don't just be average and like settle for certain things.
Yeah.
If you have difficult clients, there's more clients, just move on. Sometimes you hold on to it like it's a pacifier in your baby, like just like, oh, throw it in the trash and just get another client, tell them to go away because they're starting to get gray hair.
You need an aspirin?
I need 2 aspirins. Every day.
I think we need a better showing process, and I highlighted that I'm the expert who stops me yes to listing for myself.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It is hard. It's hard to get there. It's hard to get there. One of the things that I'm going to be really hammering everybody on, because I think it's the most important thing to overlook, or that is overlooked a lot of times, is that it's about the people. We tend to think of our business as about a house, or we think of it about about a contract, and we do need to have those technical deals, but it's really not, our success is not really about that, because anybody can do those things. It's really about our relationship with the people. It's really about the relationship with people. So as we go through a lot of these things, that's what I'm going to be working on mostly is, what do you say to people? How do you communicate? How do you get it across to them in a way that they're accepting? Because they should be accepting what you're offering, that you're the professional, right? So, unless there's another idea, I'll share this.
Yeah, on that, it's developing the skill to make sure they understand you're working for them and on their side, but giving them information that they don't want to hear.
It's all
you get.
It's the confidence to do.
Right.
that. I think it goes back to.
You don't want to argue with them or anything, but you want to get your point across and have them still feel you're on their side.
And it's interesting, so I'm going to refer all of you to the podcast that I did with Robert Heath Sr.
With Robert?
Robert Heath Sr. was about a month and a half ago.
Robert Heath.
Robert Heath.
Mark.
But he made a point. He made a point in there that is really valid. As he talked about the breakdowns in communication come down to 3 things. The first is the words. Whenever we get into a little bit of a conflict, or we get into a negotiation where we're uncomfortable and we don't have the words to express ourselves, we get frustrated. And he uses the example of a 2-year-old, a baby that's trying to learn how to speak. And they know they want the balloon. They can see the balloon, they can point at the balloon, but they can't get the balloon. And when they really want it and they're, what do they do if they can't get the balloon? What do they do? They throw a temper tantrum. It would be my idea to share with you is that a lot of the breakdowns in communication that we're having right now is with people that don't have the words to express themselves properly. And that could be our clients. They don't have the words to express their fears properly and what they want to accomplish. And because they get frustrated, we as salespeople we sense it. Is that client so? He's ticked off. There's something wrong. This isn't going very well. And then we start taking it personally, and it has nothing to do with they don't have the words to express themselves. And instead of asking the questions and helping them to define what it is that they want and the clear communication, we get defensive and say, well, I don't work for free. Right? And the objection, we cut your commission, well, I don't work for free. And then all communication is broken. Go back and listen to that episode. He talks about that. He talks about something else called the amygdala hijack, which is that part of your brain here. Yeah, the fight or flight thing. And when people get into a stressful situation, they tend to get defensive and fight. Biggest problem. Yeah, biggest problem in real estate right now with the communication with people is bad communication, and they're all angry at each other.
You had mentioned just briefly the communication breakdown. There was 3 things. One was words. What were the other?
One was words. One was the amygdala.
Where's everybody?
And I can't remember the third. You have to watch the episode.
To be, that was a visual plug there, yeah,
And a little teaser. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish up with this. So here's one of the last things that I've learned recently is that I'm starting something new. So I'm writing books and I'm trying to do public speaking and doing all kinds of other things, which means that I am learning information from other coaches. I'm listening to people and listening to podcasts, and I've got all of this information coming in, and I feel like I'm drowning in information and I'm not getting to where I want to go. Anybody else ever feel that way? I know at least 2 people in the room that feel that way, because I'm talking with you guys a lot. There's a lot of information out there, and one of the problems with real estate training is that we get a lot of information, but we never take the time to implement it. And I've come across a way to fix that. And I'm calling it the Time-Tested Mastermind Workshop. Time-Tested Mastermind Workshop. So on Wednesday, October 15th, I'm going to do the very first one. It will be at 10 a.m. your time here. And it's going to be a 90-minute Zoom workshop that I'm going to do once a week or as often as necessary. And here's what the process is going to be. We're going to have a topic and a goal to work on to achieve for that session. It could be buyer showing process. It could be asking good questions to buyers. It could be to sellers. It could be a negotiation. We're going to have a topic and something that everybody that's there wants to work on. We're going to talk about ideas for 15 minutes. And then everybody quietly is going to work on the material for 25 minutes while we're on Zoom. That means no distractions, no returning emails, no surfing social media. We're going to sit there, we're going to work on what we're working on. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk for 10 or 15 minutes to check in and regroup. You know, who had challenges, who had breakthroughs, who had more ideas, how did it get better? And then we're going to go back and we're going to work to finish up our work for 25 minutes, and then we'll get together to wrap up. You see, far too often we come to things like this and we get good ideas and we get good information, and we leave unchanged. And this mastermind workshop is designed to fix that. So I can promise you that if we work on questions for the first time for 90 minutes, if we work on that, at the end of 90 minutes, you're going to have a whole bunch of stuff that you've done during that period of time. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's all I have for today. We're right on time.